This is a skincare advertorial. Top dermatologist warns most foundations make mature skin look older. So they're talking about makeup. But this new natural age-defying formula fixes it in 10 seconds. So they're talking about, they got this typical kind of formatting for their heading where this and this, right? They say, but this fixes it. Over 120,000 women or over 45. So they're selling to women that are older. Dermatologist approved foundation that blurs wrinkles rather than highlighting them. Okay, it's pretty good. Blurs wrinkles. Age defying formula. It's a pretty big claim. Heavy texture, cakiness, or creasing. If you're a woman over 40 that has noticed your foundation suddenly setting into fine lines, exaggerating texture, or making your skin look dull and tired, you need to read this entire report. Why they feel like they aged overnight. Okay, it's pretty good. Why your skin looks older than it should, right? No, like 40-year-old women, especially women in general, they will obviously want to keep their physical appearance good, right? They want to look good, and they're older, and they value this kind of stuff. They don't want to look old. So those are just some pain points that you can get to. Make sure that they know. You remind them of it because they already know. Shocking discovery no one talks about. Okay, they're redoing this, which they already put it here. They don't need to restate. You need to read this report. They're kind of dragging it out right here. They already have the summary. Oh, they copied it. Okay, so I don't know why they have this here. Maybe it's a thing. They should delete this. 30% of skin barrier strength. Ooh. This is actually really good. This is a really good diagram. Instantly, I can understand what this diagram says. It says the foundation, which is the makeup, and then they show the aged versus the youthful skin. Yet mainstream foundation brands still use same formulas designed for 20-year-olds, and yes, they know this. So they're saying the cosmetic corporations and that kind of industry is the problem. Why don't they change their formulas? They keep you buying their products and makes them billions. Right, so you can see this in a lot of good advertorials that you can copy for your own brand, and basically you're framing it as you didn't know, but you're getting kind of scammed by the industry, right? It's just made to be like that, and it's not your fault. And that's really important when you're framing your copy, that you mention and that they know that it's not their fault, right? So when you provide your solution, their ego, it won't get in the way. Because when you say, you shouldn't be doing this, why did you do this? Only dumb people do this. They won't listen to you. Okay, no matter if your solution will help them or not. Collagen wraps. Okay, hydration, older within minutes of applying it. Okay. 10-second breakthrough, and then they got their little product. It looks like a lip balm. They could do better with the image. They can do better with their images. They can put real images. I would definitely put like Instagram or Facebook posts in this advertorial. Like you can just literally create what looks like an embedded post and just put it in the page. So if you're using a funnel builder, you can just build it out, make it look like an Instagram post, and then just literally just put it in the page. You don't have to interact with it. Just make it look like a social media post. Hair foundation, my first test patient, me, 49. Okay, they did a little story here. We need more than one bottle. Okay, this is actually really good to show. You want to include these kind of things, by the way, in your advertorials. like just to easily show visually how it works, because people skim all the time. Doctor recommended protocol. They didn't really cite any specific clinical studies and like graphs and anything, which is what I would definitely do to improve it. And then they just put this thing here. Let me just see word count. So 563 words. That's like nothing. So this advertorial right here, okay, they got trust here with their product, which is really good. Of course, they got their demographic here. They got their option 1, option 2. So of course they followed a typical advertorial kind of structuring where they're talking about the problem and the discovery, and then they're talking about the product, and then they're talking about, you know, day 1, day 2, day 3, or week 1, week 2, week 4. And then they're showing a bunch of testimonials, and then they're saying option 1 versus option 2. Keep using the formulas. Option 2, you know, go with us, buy the product now. And generally, this is pretty decent order and structuring for your advertorials, but you don't want to rely on it too much. You want to make sure your advertorial is targeted towards your demographic, right? Some people, they just make an advertorial with the same structure in all across different niches, and then they just call it a day. But there's no point when you're making an advertorial if, you know, it might not make sense to your customer, right? You want it to be made specifically for your customer, exactly for a specific person in mind. Like, that's how specific you want it to be. For example, if you're selling to a 40-year-old mom, right? Think like maybe you have an aunt who's a 40-year-old mom who has a kid, and you want to like write it as if you're talking to her. And then other people who are similar are going to resonate with it. And after they resonate with it, the more people that resonate within your target market, they just purchase. Boom, you make your sale, done. All right, that's what you want. And these guys, they have their specific target in mind, right? They called them out, but I would explain it a bit more, because they have 560 words. What are you gonna do with 560 words? Is this right? Wait, no, I think it was more words. Hold on. Yeah, okay, 991 words. I would still actually do more words. Let me just see what their AOV is. Okay, they're selling this for $56. I'm assuming this is Canadian because I'm in Canada. So let's say it's like $30 or $40 USD. I would definitely charge more. 2 bottles. Yeah, I mean, I would bundle it with something for sure. Because if you're like a 40-year-old woman, for skincare, I would literally create an advertorial bundling this up. If this is selling, I'll just bundle this up with another skin product. So it could be literally like a gua sha or a gua sha roller with like some serum or something that they use it in a routine. You can say, oh, you use this little, it's like a little cream, and then you like rub it in with the gua sha, and then it comes with the gua sha. You can add it as a free gift, or you can like bundle it, you know. I would definitely write specific, like longer for something specific like that, like a bundle, just to raise your AOV, because you can't really scale on like $30 or $40 product. It's just too little. Okay, you need bigger AOV so you can spend a lot more on ads. And this kind of, especially this kind of big claim, you need to back it up. Okay, you need to have statistical data. You can add, you know, a lot more testimonials. You can add forums, really screenshots of forums. You can add screenshots of articles. You can add statistical data, right? You have citations, you know, on PubMed. Maybe you do a little bit of research, and then you say, oh, this is what doctors say, and then you back it up with evidence, because, right, they have a doctor picture here, but they don't really have evidence in this advertorial. It's just They have the little before and after, a bunch of AI images. They have some people with the product, and that's it. Right? You don't even need people to have the product. You just make sure they have nice skincare, which these people do. But you can literally, if I was writing this advertorial, I would do at least 1,500, maybe 2K words, and I would double down on making maybe even a better image here. I mean, this is pretty decent. I mean, it explains to them, but maybe more visually appealing. But this does work, this kind of image right here. It's very simple. Foundation, aged, youthful skin. They obviously use GPT to make this, all these images. But basically, you see this image right here. I mean, it doesn't really do anything for anyone, right? You're listing out the ingredients, but they said 2 years of clinical research. I would add an image. It could just be a simple graph, literally. You can have woman age this, and then you can have skincare, and then it can be going up or down, you know, like as your age goes, your skincare worsens or whatever. Just like show statistical data, and intrinsically in their mind, they're going to think, okay, this is data behind it. This is scientific, right? And a lot of moms, I'll say this, is that they don't specifically do that much research. They just hear something like, oh, it's backed by science, and then they just believe it. Okay, that's just, you know, that's just how moms are. Okay, they don't go through things, in generally speaking, they don't go through things that thoroughly and do like crazy research compared to, let's say, a man their similar age, like 40-year-old, right? That's just how it is. And basically, I'll just make this longer. I would add more trust. I would add more scientific backup and data and whatever, and make that visual. And I would include probably another video kind of like this, but explaining. It could be like a scientific video, just showing that it gives you clear skin, or literally just a video of a woman with clear skin talking, right? You can say, oh, my skin is so glowing, whatever, and then make that as like an Instagram post, like make a little embedded, you know, like if you're building your advertorial in a funnel builder, you just make something that looks like an Instagram post. And that would really, really help your brand. But generally speaking, I mean, their advertorial, it's okay. You could definitely use a lot more explaining, because still, I don't even know what this is. This looks like a bliss text. This looks like a, you know, like something that you'd apply to your lips. So, you know, that's just like, you need to make sure that you can explain to people what it is. I mean, in this video, it does show it, now that I realize it, but people skim all the time, especially if you're just going to end up selling lower ticket like these guys, like let's say $30-$40 USD. You want it to be easily explainable and quick. Okay, I guess that's what these guys did. They kept the advertorial short, but just because it's short doesn't mean it's good, and just because it's long doesn't mean it's good. You just gotta make sure that you do your research on your customers and see exactly what they've tried and what would make sense for them, right? And then you can come up with a nice bundle. I'll definitely bundle this up with something to increase AOV. But anyways, if you're looking for an advertorial, I make advertorials for ecom brands. So if you're running a brand, I can help you with that. Just message me on X. Feel free to message me, and it's in the description.